If only I had spidey senses, so I can tell when something's wrong. Oh, and I'm set to protect this heart from breaking into pieces. Where's my hammer? Where's the shield? All the strength to carry the weight of the world. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall.
Now, here's your host, DJ Host with the Most.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Snap Decisions. I am your Snap DJ, your host with the most late night version. Again, I'm always either late night. I should just call this late decisions because, most of the time it's late. But what are you going to do? So we've got a lot to talk about. And as usual, I'm going to change some things up a little bit. I know I put out the menu of what I've got going on, but since there was an OTA today, I'm going to concentrate on that, and then I'll give my card rankings. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the card rankings because I've already played with the three of them, so I can kind of give a more true rating to them. But I will rate the cards overall for this season, and what I feel about them and where I think they rank. So I will do that, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. Since we've already kind of gone into the season already and people are already looking at the new cards and using the new cards and all that stuff. So we'll go over that. May not have too much from the request line this week. I did get some stuff out there for you guys, but as I kind of expected, I mean, it was a holiday week and I kind of figured it may not be that busy as far as responses go on social media and other things like that, but I will read off some stuff that I got. So not a whole lot there, but I will get to it. Then we'll go into the Snap Talk, of course, and talk about how I finished last month and the deck that I'm playing now. And boy, oh boy, had you told me that I'd be playing this particular deck at this point of a new season, I would have probably laughed at you about 3 months ago. But nevertheless, I am, and it's working. So we'll talk about that. Where I am, of course, so far this month, after I guess it's almost the first week. Well, started on Tuesday, it's Thursday, so just a couple of days in. I'll talk about my experiences with the new cards, and then we'll look at some variants and bundles and things like that. Then I am going to transition over to Comics Corner, where we are going to talk about Weapon X, and we will talk about Chamber as well. So those will be the two characters I'll discuss in Comics Corner. Then we are going to head over to, of course, look at my pull list for the week and the comics that I've read, getting closer and closer and closer to the end of Ultimate Spider-Man, which does not make me happy because I really love that book, and I'm definitely going to miss it. And then we're going to go over to the MCU Minute. The MCU Minute is going to be all about the list that was given in they are doing a Comic-Con convention type thing overseas. And they were expecting a lot to come from that, including what could be the trailer release itself for Doomsday. And the reason being, and I kind of agree with this, is because if they don't do it, it's going to be bootlegged. There's going to be tons of people that are going to get copies of it. They're going to put it out on the internet. They're going to ruin it for everybody anyway. So Marvel, to kind of beat that to the punch, might just end up releasing it early. It was supposed to release with Fire and Ash, with Avatar on the 19th, but they may end up releasing it early because of that. So we'll see. That's still to come in this coming weekend. So that it could be as soon as this weekend when we get the first trailer for Doomsday. But I'm going to talk about the cast list, the entire cast list that has been released now for the film. Now, there may be a surprise or two, but for the most part, the actors and stuff that are playing in that movie have been released. So I'll talk about that. Then I'm going to talk about a brand new game that I am super excited to play. And again, I don't play my PlayStation all that much. And I've been looking for a reason to do that. And there is a brand new Marvel game that is coming out, or that has come out. It has released. It is a complete throwback, and that's why I'm very excited about it because, well, I'm old and I like throwbacks. It reminds me of my childhood. So it is an arcade-style beat-em-up game is what they like to call it, and I am going to end up picking it up. It's on sale right now on the PlayStation. If you have PlayStation Plus, or if you subscribe to the PlayStation Plus, it is on sale for $26.99. And for some reason, the physical copy is very, very hard to get. Everyone seems to be sold out of them, which, I don't know, I guess this is the way video games are going to kind of go, right? Like, people aren't buying the physical copies as much anymore. You don't really need to, because in many cases you're gonna end up downloading a lot of it anyway. Like I remember the last Final Fantasy, I bought the remake of 7, the second part, and for the majority of it, I downloaded most of all of it anyway onto the system after I put the disc in. So it doesn't even really matter if you have it or not. But anyway, the game's called Marvel Cosmic Invasion. First off, I've got to say it's all about Annihilus. And him invading the galaxy, but Galactus is in it. Galactus has his own board where you fight against him with your characters, and then there's also a Thanos level as well, so all the big bads. And then there's all versions of cool characters in this. You've got Spider-Man, of course. You've got Wolverine. You've got Captain America. Venom is an unlockable character. You've got Nova, who's an unlockable character. And then there's just all kind of others that are in there. I already saw a cameo. There's Man-Thing is actually in it. Not playable, but he's in there. And so is Jeff, the baby land shark, is in the game too. But this looks extremely fun. I watched some gamers that were playing it, and it looks like it's a whole lot of fun. You can play it on Steam. You can play it on the consoles as well. Nintendo Switch has it, which I'm sure would play it amazingly well. The handheld part of it. But I am going to be playing this game going forward when I get it, and I'm going to kind of report on this game every week on the show a little bit and tell you how the progress is going and tell you about some of the things in the game and that kind of stuff too. Because I did tell you guys that I was going to incorporate some other new things into the pod, and that was one of them. Well, when I got a game that kind of fits the mold of the pod a little bit, I said I was going to report on it, and I am excited to play this one. It looks like a lot of fun. Beta Ray Bill is also in. Cosmic Ghost Rider is in this, which is awesome. Love his character. Storm, Silver Surfer is an unlockable. Jean Grey is an unlockable. Iron Man's in it. She-Hulk is in it. Black Panther's in it, among others. So it is they call it a cosmic battle awaits. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is available now on PC, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series S and X consoles. So there you go. And then the overview of it is a cosmic battle awaits. After Annihilus has launched an unprecedented attack across the galaxy, all life hangs in the balance. Nova, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Phyla-Vell, Captain Marvel, and many more heroes, both Earthborn and Cosmic, will join forces in a star-spanning, brawling adventure against the deadly annihilation wave. From New York City to the depths of the negative zone, the future of the universe will be fought across the stars in Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's been done by Tribute Games. And I already told you where it was available on. So I am super excited. It reminds me a lot of the old X-Men arcade game. Looks a lot like that, and I spent many quarters playing that game. That was one of those games where you could play with three of your other friends. Each person kind of grabs their own little spot on the arcade machine, and then you just go at it, and it's a beat 'em up, and you take your team in, and you just try to beat up all the enemies. And that's what these games were. And so many people are saying that kind of like me are saying that this is the game that they were looking for. This is the type of game that they couldn't wait to get their hands on. Just something completely different, and something completely different in the form of games. And this is really stirring people up. A lot of people are really getting into this. So I am thrilled to discuss it. I'm trying to see. There's the narrative designer Yannick Belzil and join Marvel and discover his must-read comic list that influenced. Ooh, that's kind of right up the alley of the pod. Let's see what does he have it listed here? They're all videos. Oh no, here we go. Okay, yeah. He does have a comic list here. So really quickly, we'll go through this. The team behind the galaxy-spanning adventure reveals the comics that inspired the story and the characters from the epic Annihilation event to iconic 80s and 90s tales like Dark Phoenix Saga and Onslaught. So here you see Annihilation, number 1. Guardians of the Galaxy, number 1 from 2008. Avengers, 1998, number 1. Captain America, number 1 from 1998. So a lot of the 90s comics. Uncanny X-Men, 1963, number 101. This, of course, that Phoenix is in that. X-Men, number 1 from 1991. Spider-Man Unlimited, which had Carnage. It was part of Maximum Carnage. X-Men number 53 from 1991, which had Onslaught in it. Sensational She-Hulk, number 1. Thor, 1966, number 337. That's the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill itself from 2021, number 1. Black Panther from 2016, number 1. So you could see he had a lot of inspiration from the comics. So this is going to be cool, but that's just something else that I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks of the pod. So just something a little bit different to talk about there. But... and then, of course, after that, we'll get into the lyric stuff, and we'll go from there. And of course, the last song that I did was guessed pretty quickly, and of course, it was AC/DC, and of course from from Iron Man, of course the first Iron Man film. So that's where that one came from. And Back in Black, of course. That should have been an easy one, and it was guessed pretty quick. So, all right, let's get into it, and we will, of course, start with the OTA. And I have to say, kudos to the devs for this one. Two of my biggest wishes for this OTA have indeed been granted. I think we kind of saw the writing on the wall with a lot of this, and I am absolutely thrilled. Now, I don't know if this is going to definitely change the metagame. I think it was changing a little bit anyway. I haven't seen a lot of Move being played as much anymore as there were the last couple of months or anything like that. So I think it kind of was changing along the way. So far at the start of the month, because everybody's playing with the new decks. However, that's not always a great thing, because it's, of course, changed into a destroy meta, which I'm not necessarily thrilled with either, because I'm not a huge destroy fan. In fact, the hot location, which to me isn't very hot, it's kind of lukewarm or sometimes plain old cold, that I hate. I really can't stand them. I'm telling you, and I'm not the only one of the creators who has said that. But I'm not a destroy guy, so the destroy cards that are coming out this month, not necessarily for me. But I'm just glad to see these changes. So let's get started with this. So this is the balance updates for today. Says, hello. We hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Today is going to be a big one. We'll be taking an iconic move outlier down a peg or two, as well as addressing a powerful lock piece combo deck that's been steadily picking up steam. No kidding. Additionally, we'll be doing the usual fare of a few small buffs to cards that can use it, and then we're rounding it out by making Spider-Man Noir, I got it, much easier to play with. Let's get to it. Human Torch. Finally, like The Rock used to say, finally, the Human Torch has been nerfed. He's going from a 3-3 to a 3-2. So this is a large nerf. I mean, it's a 1 point of power. Okay. Human Torch and Move are tricky. Move is the difficult deck to play, but it consistently overperforms at the highest levels of play due to the amount of points and agency that it gives its pilots. Human Torch specifically is a very difficult card to balance, being capable of some of the largest point outputs in Marvel Snap. Our original intention with the Vulture and Human Torch cost swap was to make it considerably harder to go wild with the card due to its increased clunkiness. While that is true to some extent, it isn't totally clear that it was even a net nerf, as it lost a natural predator in Killmonger. Yes, it did. It is clear that Human Torch is a 3-3 as an outlier in the game, and we've stated before we would love to live in a world where the strength of the move archetype was better widely allocated amongst the cards in the deck. Move has also been strong throughout the Arachnid Anarchy season, having picked up another powerful piece in Spider-Punk. For those reasons, we'll be making a large nerf to Human Torch, now in the interest of making Move a healthier archetype in the long term. We debated going to 4-3 or even 4-4 as an additional step to make it more difficult to move Torch repeatedly, but we ultimately felt we weren't confident that 4-4 would even be a sufficient nerf, given how sensitive doubling is to power changes. For now, we're going to make the large change to Human Torch to get a sense of what the lower limit of his strength is. As we've said many times, when it comes to the move archetype, we'll keep monitoring it and try to get it into the most fun spot that it can be. Ideally, this change will help Move become less homogeneous and rely on a variety of move payoffs rather than relying so much on Human Torch as a primary points piece. Now, they changed him to a 3-2, but did they take out double its power? No, I didn't check this. Because I don't play Move. So let's look this up. Because they said it was such a big... And I'm reading it, and I'm like, well, that's not big. It's literally 1 point of power. Let me... No, it still doubles its power. So, I mean... Okay, I mean, it went from a 3 to a 2, 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 3 to 6 to 12. Yeah, well, yeah. 2, 4, and 8 doesn't even get out of single digits, 3 moves. By the time it gets to 16, it'd be 4, and that's a little tough to do, especially if you're playing him after turn 3, right? So, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess it is big, because normally... you would have had him at a 3, move him once, he'd be a 6. You move him again, he'd be a 12 right away. So, yeah, okay. All right. So, in any case, Human Torch finally gets a move. And as you can see, they're gonna talk about it a little bit here as well. But it says many times when we come to the move archetype, we'll keep monitoring. So they're going to keep monitoring it and see. But I do believe, as with any OTA, and when a card gets changed like this, it's going to dissuade people from playing it like they were. Now, I don't think it's going to kill off Move, because I think it will. I think it'll stop versions of it. I think what it's going to stop is I think it might stop the Sparky version where you're constantly bouncing that torch all around, and may also stop the Tribunal version where you're just trying to get that torch as big as you can and rolling out the Tribunal at the end of the game. So those two decks with Human Torch, or Human Torch might just go away, and you might see more of the move decks that came from last month with Prowler and the Scream archetype, much more than the Human Torch ones. The stubborn people will still play it and try to get it and see what they can do with it. But, when you do the math, it is going to be a lot worse. So that's a good one. But even more so, that made me happier because I don't see a lot of the move decks where I am. I'm sure a lot of the post-infinite players, which I have not been lucky enough to hit that again for the last 2 months. Thank you, cheater bots and sweaty bots. But I haven't seen a lot of that. But this one, I certainly have. And I've seen it being played by bots. So this is War Machine. War Machine is going from a 4-6 to a 5-9. To a 5-9. So War Machine Storm Legion decks have been tearing it up for the better part of 2 months. Yes, they have. We've waited long enough. We recently made a change to Storm with the hope that it would contribute meaningfully to lowering the deck's play numbers, but a small change wasn't sufficient to do so. No, that was kind of stupid to even think that, to be honest. By nerfing War Machine to a 5 cost, our goal is to meaningfully move the needle on those play numbers and encourage less lockout gameplay that can be frustrating for many players, you think? In the future, we might revisit War Machine alongside a rework to Storm. We've long felt that such a popular character shouldn't be promoting such frustrating play pattern similar to Spider-Man in the past. Yes. How quickly they got rid of that when people were getting locked out by Spider-Man on the end of the game after Galactus would blow up the other locations. This is very similar, and people can't play anything, and it kind of sucks. So, that said, we haven't landed on a design that we love for Storm yet, so we'll be adjusting War Machine in the short term. So thank goodness for that. That deck should go away now and should be gone, and no more bots will be playing it, and all of that crap should go away. So I'm very, very thrilled by that one because that deck was obnoxiously bad, as I've said on the pod over and over again. So good riddance to that. And all the players who insisted upon playing it and the bots that were playing it, goodbye to you, and go and make another deck. So Morgan Le Fay is getting she's getting a nerf. She's going from a 4-7 to a 3-4. So Morgan is a unique and compelling build-around that offers a new spin on our classic discard and destroy archetypes. While her payoff is strong, it can be very difficult to achieve all the steps necessary to realize her potential in a 6-turn game. Enabling her with discard or destroy cards, playing Morgan, and finally deploying your hand of powered up cards. In a similar vein to several build-arounds we've buffed in the past, we'll be lowering her cost to make weaving in all these steps more achievable. As we'll be seeing shortly here with Spider-Man Noir, we'll be more vigilant on how large an ask it is of our players to try to enable these tricky deck-building puzzle payoff cards. Well, that's good, I guess. I don't know. This is probably a buff. I mean, she's going to a 3-4, but it's going to be easier to play her now. Losing power instead of a 7. So, yep. I mean, I don't really ever play the card. I don't know if I will. It's not really a card. But this is probably just a change because of the current season that we're in, and that they're trying to enable destroy and discard. Elsa Bloodstone gets a buff. She goes from a 3-4 to a 3-5. No real description there. Swordmaster is getting a buff, going from a 3-6 to a 3-7. Again, that's probably for all these current archetypes. Now, Elsa may find her way back into the Horde decks, because she kind of fell out of those decks for a bit, and players really aren't playing her anymore, but she might find her way back in. Swordmaster is pretty much specifically, and you'll see in the description for that's pretty much specifically because of certain cards that are coming out, which is the new weapon Hulk card that I think they're referring to. Helicarrier is getting a buff to a 612. That would be nice for like those Isan decks. And then Dormammu's getting a buff to a 713. So before we get to Noir, I messed it up. See? I psyched myself out and I messed it up. A few buffs, a few things to call out with Elsa Bloodstone has been performing poorly for some time. We thought she might be a touch risky to buff when the zombie season was at the height of its powers and popularity. That's not necessarily true. A lot of people are still playing it. Now that Horde deck has been fully fleshed out and settled into its current win rate, we feel comfortable with buffing Elsa even if she injects that deck with slightly more power. Swordmaster has been one of the weakest discard enablers for some time, so we figured it finally appropriate to give it an extra point, particularly with his friend Weapon H soon on the horizon. Helicarrier and Dormammu are just a few more expensive cards we think can handle the extra power. As we've been for some time now, we'll keep looking for opportunities to higher cost cards to buff. Galactus. Psst. Galactus, buff Galactus. Who was that? Who said that? Spider-Man Noir. The old one was a 4/6. On reveal, if your other cards in play cost exactly 8, add the top card of your deck here. Set its power to 8. 0/8. New. On reveal, now see he's going to a 4/4. On reveal, set the top card of your deck's power to 8. If your other cards in play cost exactly 8 total, add it here. We're reworking Spider-Man Noir by dramatically improving its floor. Now, even if you do fail in achieving his quest, he'll still be setting the power of the top of your deck. Couple things here. We missed a mark on how difficult this quest was to achieve, as we alluded to previously with Morgan. This has happened a few times recently, and we'll be taking a harder look at where we can incur some risk on making deck building quests easier to achieve while still maintaining that those cards have exciting text boxes and payoffs. We also wanted to make sure that our adjustment stayed true to its original version as a build-around. We didn't want to dramatically change the card's incentives. It was and is one of Noir's goals that you play with different cards in something like Jubilee, rather than trying to achieve the most expensive or powerful option from the top of your deck. We want you to choose different inclusions, cards like Mr. Sinister, Brood, and Iron Man. Now, even if you aren't able to achieve the 8 other total costs, if you happen to spike one of the aforementioned cards with a power buff, Noir can still have an exciting impact on the game. We aren't quite sure whether this change will be sufficient, but it should be a big learning moment for both us and the players, and will help us get a better sense of where we should oscillate a card's floor and ceiling. We hope you had a wonderful and safe holiday. That is it for today. Thanks for snapping. So there are the balance updates. I'm thrilled with the War Machine one, as I've said. And I am going to turn down my heater because I'm starting to not be able to breathe so well. I'm thrilled with the War Machine one. I hope that RIPs that deck. And I hope everybody that enjoyed that sniveling little lockdown thing, and you were one of those people that were snickering at people when you had locked them completely out of the game, I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted, because it is done, and I'm very happy for that. And the Human Torch, while I haven't seen it that much, because, I don't play up in that level, I'm sure that the high infinite players themselves, I know KM Best talked about Human Torch and how he felt that the card was way too strong. So I hope that those people will get the satisfaction out of that change as well. And I'm pretty happy with that. The others don't really affect me all that much. I don't play Morgan Le Fay. Helicarrier, the only time I ever see that card is if I get it from another card. Elsa, I played some Elsa in the past. But I don't really play the Horde deck, so I don't know. People will have to see, I guess, how that works out in the Horde deck going forward, or if you try to bring back Silky Smooth, which I don't necessarily know that it works that well anymore. But you could give it a shot. Swordmaster obviously remains to be seen with Weapon H, who many people think or feel that is their best card of the month. Speaking of which, now that we're past the balance updates, and there's another one coming before the end of this month. So there is going to be another OTA coming before the end of the month yet. But before we do, let us rank these new cards before it gets too darn late. Because most people did their rankings last week, and I'm behind the 8 ball. But let us rank the cards. And that's not what I want. I would like to look at my photos, please, Mr. iPad. There we go. Well, there's some of them anyway. Hello. No, I have to hit show all. Okay. Is it on here, what I'm looking for, or did it not translate over? No, it did not. Okay. Well, that's okay. I can get it from the phone. All right, so, excuse me. Let's look at the cards for this month. Now, where? There they are. Okay. All right. So, now, some people do this a little differently. I know Snap on this gives theirs I think a 1 through 4 rank. But I like to just rank them in order of where I have them. So we have 5, 9. Wow, we have 11 cards this month? Damn. We were getting 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, they are indeed giving us 11 cards. Now, one of them is with a Super Premium Pass, and that's the only way we can get Adamantium Infusion is with that. So 10 without that. All right. So here we go. Now, I have messed around with Weapon X. I've played a little bit with Adamantium Infusion. And I'm going to play a little bit with Chamber. But I've seen some videos of some creators that have played with it that actually looks, a lot of people are saying that this is a pretty crappy card, but I don't know. I mean, with the right kind of deck, and I saw people playing a Dino deck with it. I saw people playing a lot of Nick Fury with it. I don't know. I've seen some people play this where this has gotten pretty big. So anyway, I'm going to get to my rankings. And this time we're going to go from best to worst, okay? So you're going to go from best to worst. So you have the Series 5 cards. The Season Pass card, of course, is Weapon X, Adamantium Infusion, Super Premium. Your Series 5 cards are Chamber, Weapon H, Maverick, Aurora, and Phantom X. And then your Series 4 cards are Wild Child. Wade Wilson is a limited time event card, as is Fastball Special and Marrow. So they're probably going to be in the, what's that limited time mode with Grand Arena. They might be in Grand Arena, or maybe they're going to be split with Grand Arena, and maybe that new mode we're getting with the teams. So, and by the way, Grand Arena is very different. Now that is taking some of the characters and the pixelated characters from that new game I was telling you about, that new Marvel game, Annihilation. That is so they're taking the avatars and stuff from that, but that could have some of these cards in it as well. So, all right. So I played a little bit with Weapon X. I played a few games with Adamantium Infusion, which seemed pretty strong, and I saw Chamber being played. And like I said, I know people are hating on this, but I saw it, and it looked pretty decent for a 2 cost. I was seeing people get this thing up double digits pretty easily, like a 10, a 12, a 15. So that's not bad. But I know others have not ranked this very highly. So, all right, let's go to. Well, here. All right, so we'll go bottom to top. So I'm going to go with card number 11 for me. Card number 11. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Wade Wilson, I think. I don't think it's a good card. He's a 2/2. When destroyed, replace this with a 1-cost card from your hand or deck with +1 power. He's an enabler for if you don't get your X-23, or if you don't get your Deadpool, if you don't get your Headpool. But a point was made on Snap on this last week when they were kind of saying that if you don't get that by at least turn 3 or so, you're really behind the 8 ball. Now, X-23, maybe not. It might still help you that late in the game. But if you don't get those cards right off the bat, you're probably not going to do what you want to do. And that's pretty much all he's going to do. And if you play him, obviously, if you play him on curve at turn 2, and then he brings out a Deadpool, you're going to place a 1-cost card. You're going to replace him with a Deadpool, let's say on turn 2, and it's going to be a +1. I don't know that it's really doing you a whole lot of favors at that point. So, and then you got to go about destroying it and everything like that yet too. So you might not get around to that until turn 3. So I don't know if this is necessarily going to end up in the deck that it probably is key to end up in, or replacing any of the key cards in that static destroy list. So I don't know. I think he's in a correct place. I think he's a definite Series 4 card. And I really don't think he's going to be that good. So, all right. So number 10. I'm looking at. Wild Child here as number 10. He's ongoing +4 power if you've discarded a card, +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. So he's going to go to a 2/5. Now that's ongoing in discard. And then +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. No, it's ongoing for both. I mean, I don't know. He could get kind of big. Obviously, in discard, you're just going to keep discarding. He's going to get +4 power if you discarded a card. So he's going to continually get. No, you know what? I'm not going to put him at number. No, he's not that bad, actually. All right, let's look at. All right. All right, you know what? Let's switch that up. Let's go. I'm going to go with Maverick. Maverick's a 3/3. Activate, give the next card you play power equal to this card's power. You'd have to buff him to really do a lot of good here. I mean, maybe he would be good in a Surfer deck. Whenever a 3 comes out, that's what the first consideration is always going to be. For me, I hate Surfer. I never play Surfer. So I couldn't care less if that's the card that it's going to be good in. In fact, I don't even like playing against Surfer, so I wouldn't really want to see a Surfer deck get any better than it already is, or any more consistent than it already is. So for that matter, I am going to put him at my next card up, so I'm going to put him at number 10. They should have a picture of Tom Cruise from Top Gun on there. Number 9. All right, so I'm going to go with Phantom X at number 9. He's a 4/6, which is a pretty crappy stat line. I mean, it's not horrible, but this has an activate. If you've had cards discarded and destroyed, so both, afflict front row enemy cards at each location with -2 power. I mean, that's a lot of affliction, and maybe that's the type of deck he goes in, but you're still going to have discarded and destroyed cards, or else it doesn't work. So it's a big ask for a card that's doing, I mean, could do 2/4, 6/8. I mean, it could do, if their lanes are all filled, which they probably wouldn't be. I mean, let's say you average -6, right? So he becomes a 4/12, but you're going to have to discard and destroy cards to do it. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just seems like too much trouble for what it does. So 11, 10, we're going to make him number 9. Number 8. Number 8, I've mentioned it before, but I'm gonna go with, and this remains to be seen with me. Now, I played him. I haven't played him yet. I plan to, though, but I did see some creators getting some pretty good things out of it, but I'm not sure that it's the deck type that I would ever want to play. So number 8, I'm going to put Chamber there. I don't think he's as bad as everybody might be talking about him as being, but he's still kind of on the bottom of my list. Activate +2 power for each 5 cost or higher card you have in here and in your hand. And like I said, there's ways to do it. Playing Nick Fury, you could play a collector type deck. Devil Dino, you can play. 5 card or 5 cost or higher card. I was thinking that when I first saw this, I was thinking a Surtur list. Because you're playing a ton of high cost cards. But you'd have to get him out pretty early. But the problem is have here and in your hand. So you'd have to play the big cards in his lane, which kind of is, that's kind of a double standard because you don't necessarily want to do that. You want him to kind of hold the lane a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good place for him. I think, what are we at? I always lose track. I think we're at 7. So I think 7 is a good spot for him. I don't think he's great. And the deck types you have to play are kind of weird. So I'm going to put him at number 7. Number 6. I'm going to put Aurora at number 6. She's got a 6/5 stat line. On reveal, give one of your other cards on reveal, cards at each location, +2 power. Repeat for ongoing, activate, and end of turn. I mean, she's a 6. Give one of your other on-reveal cards at each location +2 power. Repeat for ongoing, activate, and end of turn. Well, She might be good in the Invisible Woman decks. But I don't know. Those lists are pretty static. What do you replace for her? I mean, you could obviously play her with Jocasta, and Invisible Woman would work with this because of it being an end-of-turn type thing. I don't know. I still think, I'm still going to put her at number 6. I think she's too much of a pain in the butt to try to get all that to work. So I'm gonna put her at number 6. Number 5. I'm going to put Marrow at number 5. Marrow is a 2/3. When discarded or destroyed, randomly split -6 power among enemy cards. So when you discard Marrow or destroy it, it's going to randomly split -6 power. I mean, negative Affliction randomly splitting cards isn't a bad thing. I mean, this could go into an Affliction deck, like a Toxic type deck, and spread Affliction across there, and it would work well with, the other cards that gain bonuses from that. So yeah, I don't know. I Affliction cards are usually pretty decent fit. Plus, you don't kind of have to go crazy trying to decide what they could fit into. The Affliction decks are going to go into Affliction deck, or Affliction cards just fit into Affliction decks. So yeah, I don't think it's that bad, but I'm going to go with that at number 5. Number 4. I'm going to go with, let's see. Did I do Wild Child yet? 2/1. Ongoing +4 power if you discarded a card. +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. That seems like, and that's ongoing. So yeah, I mean, this can get big, either in a destroy or a discard deck. Because I mean, you're discarding in a discard deck, especially. You're discarding every single turn. There are some turns in a destroy deck where you actually don't destroy, like your first few turns. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. But that's still +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. I mean, 4, 8, 12, 16. That's going to get pretty big for a 2. So I don't know. For a Series 4 card, that doesn't seem too bad. I'm going to go with that at number 4. Number 3, going to go with Adamantium Infusion. Now, I played with it a little bit. It fits right in with the Nimrod deck. The Phoenix Force list that's been popping back up, it fits right in with that too. It's on reveal. Remove your highest power destroyed card here with its power, revive. Revive your highest power destroyed card here with its power doubled. You play this with Black Panther. You play this with a Nimrod. It's just sick. You're just getting those cards back, and then it's going to double, and then you can Zol it. This card's pretty sick. It's the drawback to it is a 4 cost, but even still, this card is probably one of the better cards in the series this month, and so it's very, very good. So I will say that is my number 4. Although I don't play those deck types much, but I still think it's pretty powerful. Number 3, I'm going to go with Weapon X. I've seen it get pretty big. I played it. This is one of the few cards I played, and I played it in a Thanos list. It was Binks's list, Thanos Destroy, and it works really well in that. You put off a Killmonger and kill a bunch of stuff, With people, of course, are playing it with Squirrel Girl, but if you kill a lot of the stones off with it, and it was, he gets, I've seen this go to 220 plus. That's pretty good. And if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff anyway, now I'm not saying he fits in a static destroy list. He probably doesn't, because you're destroying in modes. You're waiting till like turn 2 to destroy like maybe 2 cards, maybe 3 cards if you're lucky. Then you're going to destroy maybe another 1 or 2 on turn. So he may not get so big in a regular static destroy list. But if you play him in anything, that you're going to destroy a whole bunch of stuff at once, whether it's squirrels or rocks or, anything like that. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be probably at least a 210, a 212, and that's a lot of power. So, I think he's pretty good, and I think he is. He's my number 3. Number 2. Is, for me, it's another, it's another skill card, and it is Fastball Special, which is a 2. On reveal, destroy your highest power card here to afflict an enemy card here with that much negative power. I mean, you're wanting to destroy cards anyway, right? Play this with a Nimrod that you have up to 12. And you're hitting an enemy card in that lane with negative 12 power. If you're playing the Black Panther list that I said before, and let's say you've already doubled it with Adamantium Infusion, or you brought one back where it's doubled, and now you play this on turn 6 with another 4 card, you are now hitting an enemy card with negative 20 plus power. Sick. So not only do you have a huge Black Panther or a huge Nimrod that you're going to split across the board, now you're going to also use this thing, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to inflict. So not only are you going to have a big card, but now you're going to hit your opponent with a loss, an affliction with that card's power. So that's pretty gross. And then number 1. And this is the card I'm looking most forward to playing this month. And that's coming out next week, is Weapon H. I like the character. And this just seems very straightforward. When discarded, put this back with a negative 2 cost. So you play this in a discard list and just keep discarding it over and over again. You can get this thing out super cheap. And he's a 14 with no drawback. That's pretty good. You could play him with Khonshu decks, the Apocalypse decks, and you're just going to have another huge dude that's going to come out on could come out on the last turn, which is just disgusting. So there you go. That is my card ranks for the new cards for the month. I like how they merged it with discard and made it like destroy discard, but I don't know that people are actually going to play it that way. I think they're still going to split off into destroy decks separately and then discard decks separately. But in any case, Weapon H comes out next week, so I think you're going to pretty much be seeing a big, huge comeback from discard lists. That's, the good thing is, though, at least it won't be the obnoxious Dakin list with Bullseye. At least it won't be those. Traditional discard is one thing. It is what it is. But in any case, I could tell you what's going to probably make a comeback pretty soon. Well, number 1, Shadow King is still going to be the tech card to have, with all these cards like Chamber, the Weapon X card, and all these other ones gaining a lot of power. But the other card I think that's going to make a pretty big comeback is going to be Shang-Chi. Because you have that big 14 Weapon H sitting out there. That's just begging for a Shadow King. I'm sorry, or a Shang-Chi. So I think you're going to see Shang-Chi making a strong comeback in this particular month. So, well, there you go. That is my rankings, and that is my thoughts on the OTA from today. So, we are going to move forward, and we're going to pull up my Twitter. Oh, I just wanted to touch on the variants as well in this section. Man, are they some of these variants now? I'm not necessarily calling it out by artwork, because I know a lot of people are complaining, myself included, about a lot of it being the AI stuff, a lot of it being the studios more than it is artists. But man, do some of these variants, when you split them, are looking incredible. And I'm seeing more and more. I know I told you guys about the Luna Snow and how she forms that heart after you split her like 3 times. Well, more and more of the cards and the variants are starting to do that, where they're starting to put extra things into the card picture the more you split the card, which I think is pretty smart. If you're going to split the card, and a lot of people have been not splitting cards so much because of the, let's just say the banana splits. The banana splits. That's an 80s TV show. In fact, they made that into a horror film. It was about these big creatures, these big-looking mannequin people that were in costumes and stuff, but they turned that into a horror movie. But the variants are really looking good. And the splits and stuff like that are really, really looking cool. So keep that up. That's pretty good that they're doing that. All right. The request line for the week. Let me see if I got any comments. Oh, I got a comment from Burb, because I put the comment out. Let's all celebrate the death of the lockdown deck, and also finally Human Torch. Loving the OTA today. I'll discuss on tonight's pod. Out soon. It's a good one, said Burb. Yes, I would agree. It's one of the better ones we've had. Let me see if I got any. Pod will be out tomorrow. I said, what are you hoping to see in the first of these 2 OTAs this month? I want to see War Machine Lockdown nerfed hard. Jermaine McBound says negative takes a huge hit. So he wanted negative to get hit. Man, that's a card that they avoid like the plague. It's consistently pretty strong. But I guess it just doesn't tick any boxes. And it's not strong enough for them to ever want to nerf it, because you just don't ever see it happen. I mentioned a good solution for that deck is all they would need to do is nerf Jane Foster. Make Jane Foster cost more, and then you're done. You'll never get it. They may as well not even play it in the deck. But they could still win without it. I've still gotten beaten by those negative decks without any sort of Jane Foster hit at all. So I did put a picture on my X of Man-Thing and Jeff in Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Man-Thing looks kind of weird. But you can tell he's Man-Thing. He's a pixelated Man-Thing, but he looks a little weird. Looks a little elephant-like with his horns and stuff. But hey, Man-Thing's in it. I also have on my X here, I'm excited for this. They showed the photo for the Spider-Man Noir with, of course, Nicolas Cage. And it's him peeking from behind the door saying, Ben Reilly, private investigator. And you could see like the silhouette of him wearing the hat and the jacket and his face with the glasses and stuff. So it's cool. Coming to Amazon Prime. So that will be coming soon. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be good. Nicolas Cage plays some weird characters, and I think he's kind of perfect for that role. This is just a little bit of news. So new Grand Arena, this came from Burb, posted this. New Grand Arena mode will run 12/5, so it's December 5th to 12/12, and have no custom decks. No custom decks. So you're going to have to make your own for this. Wow. No custom-made decks. And like I said, Grand Arena is taking its avatars, which shows Thanos, Iron Man, Cap, and Black Panther, and they're right from that Cosmic Invasion video game. So that's pretty cool. The new champions quickly. They have Captain America, who has a shield throw skill. Put an ongoing card from your deck here with +1 power. Shuffle a copy of this into your deck. Iron Man, Stark Technology. After this turn, give your champion +2 power for each location you're winning. Weapon X has Berserker Rage. Destroy your cards here with less power than your champion. Add a copy of this to your hand with a +1 cost. Rocket Raccoon has a massive arsenal. Banish this to move your champion here. Repeat its on reveal and add a copy of this to your hand. Black Panther. Give power equal to your champion to one of your cards here. Thanos. His skill is inevitable. If your champion is in play with 20 or more power, destroy front row enemy cards here. Even unrevealed ones. Wow. Annihilus, Lord of the Negative Zone. Your champion steals 1 power from each other card here. And then the Sentinel, Project Armageddon. Give your Sentinels +1 power for each created card you've played this game that isn't a Sentinel. So that's all the powers. I posted a picture of Galactus from Cosmic Invasion. And it's kind of funny because Venom was laying near death in front of him. And I said, Venom will kneel before Galactus. I asked if anyone was playing the game. I didn't get a response, but I've gotten the response of some people who are anxious or excited about playing it. Which, of course, I had to say, look who's in Marvel. Look who's in Cosmic Invasion. Of course, when I saw Galactus, I was like, yes, now I definitely have to get it. The Winterverse variant looked. The Magic Winterverse variant looks cool. Yeah, I think that was about it. I didn't get a whole lot of responses this week from you guys, but that's all right. Listen, I know it was a holiday. I didn't really expect to, and there wasn't really any like huge things around that created a lot of stir or anything like that. Most people were just excited to move on, go to the next season and stuff like that. So, Voltron Pilot, of course, is the one who gets the lyric. He put down, I always prefer the Bon Scott era of AC/DC, but Back in Black is still the best album from Brian Johnson's time with the band. Yeah, it's a great album. And then I wrote back to him, a good friend of mine is a recording studio. Myself and some friends recorded the song Big Balls by AC/DC, which I did, and yours truly sang on that. And I sang lead vocals, and I had to figure out how to do Brian's thick accent. He's a very thick British accent, Brian Johnson did. We did a pretty good job, and I still have the file in Apple Music. Yeah, we actually did do a pretty good job of that, and it was fun. It was fun doing that. I enjoyed being in the recording studio to do that. All right, so that is that part of the show. So not a whole lot from you guys with this week, but that's okay. That's it doesn't always have to be that way. And sometimes it could change things up a little bit. So we're going to move on, and we're going to go to some Snap Talk. So I will be talking about my week in the game. Just so you know how much I love you guys, and I try to get this out. You know what time it is right now? It is 2:08. 2:08 in the morning. It is 2:08 in the morning. Okay. All right, so let's get into, I'm going to open up Snap. Hopefully the volume's down. Yes, it is. And I'm going to talk about now I didn't get out of the 80s. So I started over at 65. I'm currently at 76. Got a good amount of the bots from 65 to 70 were the real crappy bots. Now I'm starting to get them that they aren't so crappy, but I do get one or two of the bad ones mixed in. and then I just try to take advantage of those. So that's where I am. What I'm playing right now, you're never going to believe it. I'm playing HELA. I'm playing HELA. And the reason I'm playing HELA is because I heard KM talk about it. And I heard him say how it is pretty darn good right now in this meta. Now, he's talking about his meta. And his meta is very different from mine. Where he is in Infinite, it's pretty good. And so I'm playing this list. And I think it's kind of twofold in why it's working. I think it's working, first of all, because I think it fools the bots. Because they don't exactly know what you're doing. Because there's no rhyme or reason to what you're playing. And there aren't a lot of plays with this deck. I'm going to read it out. It's Blade, Gambit, Mercury, Corvus, Jubilee, Ghost Rider, Legion, Blink, HELA, Odin, Giganto, and Infinite. So there's going to be many times when you might not have a play until turn 3. Because your only play that's going to come before that is if you get Blade. And a lot of times if you get Blade, and let's say you have HELA on the end of your card list, you aren't going to play Blade because you don't want to discard HELA. Now, I mean, you can, because you just would, if you do come up with a Ghost Rider, you could just Ghost Rider HELA back at some point, or get lucky and do it. But there are many times when you won't want to play a card till turn 3. Now, if you're playing a bot, it confuses them a little bit. I think. But it also, the other players are going to be kind of, they're going to be kind of thinking like, what the hell is going on when you're not playing any cards, and they're not getting an idea of what you're playing. So that kind of has its own advantage as well. But in any case, this has been winning games, and there's a lot to this. This is more along the lines of the Dinesh list, I think, because it has Odin, it has Gambit, and Gambit can be very strategic in this because you can try to Gambit early cards that they're putting down. Now, Gambit doesn't work very well against the destroy stuff that's going on. Of course, you're just helping the player. But you can always wait until almost the end of the game. If they play out their null or if they play out the death a little bit early, you can wait until near the end of the game. Corvus is your enabler. He's just going to, and now obviously you don't want him to discard HELA, but there's even a way to bring, like I said, with the Ghost Rider, there's a way to bring that back in here. So Jubilee is what she is. Jubilee is in here because you're going to want to do that Blink combo with her if you still haven't gotten your HELA in your deck list. But it's been pretty good. And then the Legion, you can just scam people with Legion. You have Odin to trigger HELA for a second time, if you want to do that, or to trigger Jubilee a second time, or trigger Ghost Rider, in a second. And Giganto and Infinite are just going to win a lane. 9 times out of 10, they're just going to win a lane. So this has been pretty good. Never thought I would say that I'm playing HELA. The other list I started off with, and I thought I'd be a little sneaky, because I thought I'd play Armor and Cosmo, because I'm like, okay, especially with the destroy location, the hot location, everybody is going to be playing Weapon X, and everybody's going to be playing Adamantium Infusion, and everybody's going to play Nimrod, Destroy, and all that business. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to play Armor, and I'm going to play Cosmo, and hopefully I get the Armor out. They put the Deadpool in the lane, they put the Headpool in the lane, and I get the Armor out, and they can do nothing with them, and they're just stuck there. And of course, the Cosmo does not let the on reveals to happen, and stuff like that. So it's just a normal standard Surtur list. It's Sauron, Zero, Armor, Lizard, Nightmares in it. Obviously, because in case if you're not playing a Destroy deck, you can Nightmare the Cosmo, you can Nightmare the Armor if they're still in your if they're still in your hand and you haven't played them yet and stuff like that, and you don't have a use for either one of them, you could always change them. Starbrand, Crossbones, Typhoid, Enchantress, which is a must-have card in this deck right now and there's just a lot of people playing that Mr. Fantastic Moonstone list, which I wiped out with the Enchantress, Red Skull, and Scar. So it's a very, very simple starter list. In fact, this is the list that people played with before even Nightmare came out, because many times you want that armor out to protect your own cards from Shang-Chi and Cosmo doing the exact same thing. So this is just kind of an old school mixed with new school starter list. And it was working pretty well. What else have I played? I played a Victoria hand deck a little bit. I'm not very good at it because I'm just not used to playing the lines. But it's the Hood, Deafening Chord, Nico, Quinjet, Agony, Iron Patriot, Mirage, Victoria, Frigga, Shadow King, Moon Girl, and Misery. Most of the games I won, I think I won because of the Shadow King, being honest. And what else? This is the Weapon X. Do I still have... I might not still have it. No, I got rid of the Thanos one. That was the Binks one that I was playing with. It was okay, but I was probably losing more than I was winning. This is the Chamber list, right? This is interesting to me because I love Ramp. And this has Chamber, Iron Patriot, Valentina, Electro, Luna Snow, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Blink, Enchantress, Hydro-Man, Vision, Eson, and Galactus. So all these, first of all, you have 1, 2, 3. Look at all these fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the cards that are in this deck. My heater's going nuts. Hold on. My heater's making weird, funky noise. Stop. There you go. So you have so many enablers for Chamber. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 of your cards are going to enable Chamber. So at any one time, you're going to get him up pretty high. Plus, then you're getting cards from Valentina, and you're getting cards from Iron Patriot, and I mean, so yeah, it's just. And then your Galactus is going to grow. Your Eson's going to pull in your created cards. So I thought this was a pretty interesting list. I think maybe Regis might have played it because he's a Ramp fan as well. There's an RSM Chamber deck also that KM Best showed. Now this is Chamber, Iron Patriot, Valentina, so kind of similar. But it has a Shadow King. It has a Nick Fury because, of course, Nick is going to give you 3 random 6-cost cards. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Lady Deathstrike, who's a 5. Legion, Blob is bigger, of course, than Mockingbird. Eson, again, and RSM is in this. And then the Infusion deck. Now, this is that great, gigantic Nimrod Black Panther one. This is Kid Omega, Carnage Elixir, Magic Venom, Adamantium Infusion, Shuri, Phoenix Force, Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Panther, Nimrod, and Zola. So you guys all know how this works. Big, huge Black Panther that you can Zola, or Nimrod you could Zola, or Symbiote Spider-Man Nimrod that you can destroy, or you can double with Shuri. It's just sick. And then you use the Adamantium Infusion. This stuff is just bonkers. Kid Omega, of course, is doing his thing too. So it's just crazy. So that's some of the decks that I played. That's how I finished my week. So let's look at, see if there's anything cool in the shop. There's an X-Force pack. They're random drawn X-Force cards that you don't already have. There's a Cable in here. Envar Studios Cable. There's a Cannonball, the Envar Studio Cannonball. The Kale Nagu variant of Colossus, which, who cares? No one ever plays the card. Eric Guerrero variant of Cyclops. The Midnight Suns Domino. These are just some of the ones I don't have. Vincenzo Riccardi Forge. Vincenzo Riccardi Mirage. The Kel New, I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly, Psylocke, the Chibi Sunspot, and then the OG Wolverine. This Wolverine, I think, is as old as this game is. This must have been one of the very first variants that has come out over the years. It's a Weapon X variant, which everybody's already talking about because now there's another one. But I never got this. And I know this is a very old variant. I never got it. But I probably won't collect them because I'm not a huge X-Men fan. And I'm kind of good with what I have. Silver Sable is the Spotlight variant. And Angela is the Ultimate variant. We did get a new album. The Chiola Senses Tingling album, which I have. Man Spider, Spider-Man Noir, and Uncle Ben. And I wanted to get the Uncle Ben because I didn't have an Uncle Ben variant. And it had the Leo Chiola variant of Spider-Man as his version of Spider-Man. Plus, I wanted to get the emote of Spider-Punk, which I did. And, yeah, let's see. Let's see what's in the shop here. What's in the shop? There's another Uncle Ben variant. Boy, now they're coming fast and furious. This one's for 3,000 gold, called Great Responsibility, Envar Studio variant of Uncle Ben. I like the other one better. Love, Death, and Symbiotes is the new $100 bundle with Venom and Death. The Death is amazing, but no way I would pay that money. The best there is, Victor Farrell Wolverine for $15. Better than Wolverine, Deadpool for $20. That's pretty much it. I got a Pandart Studio variant of Deadpool and Quinjet in there. Nightforge Shadow King, which looks really cool. The Marvel Rivals ones keep popping up because I never bought any of them because they look awful. They are just terrible. Kate Bishop Hawkeye, Creative House Pocket, looks pretty good. So that's it. Yeah, so that was pretty much my weekend snap so far. And what I've been playing, the decks I've been playing, and some of the... Oh, let's look at the variants. In tribute to Super Tech God, by the way, who's awesome and has all the variants, which is crazy. Crazy to me that he does, but that's an amazing accomplishment. All right, so I got the Prowler, the Brett Bean Prowler variant. These are all the ones from the Rock Band. Sabretooth, the Supja variant of Sabretooth is awesome. It's amazing. It's too bad the card's not better and I would ever play with it. I got the Adamantium Infusion variant. The Chameleon, this is the Brett Bean Chameleon from the band. I got the Hydro Man Brett Bean variant in the band. So I have all the band member variants. I got another Magic. I've been getting a lot of Magics lately. The Tiago da Silva variant of Magic, which is amazing looking. Nothing for Weapon X yet. Nothing for Chamber yet. I got the Man Spider Brett Bean in the band. He's the drummer. The Magic Winter Vacation variant, the holiday one, which looks cool with the holiday wrapping paper border. And I think that's it. I think the Doc Ock one I got last week I told you about. Yeah. Yeah, so that's primarily it as far as variants are concerned and the stuff that I have gotten in the game over the course of the week. Okay. So we are going into the Comics Corner. And we are going to talk about this week's... We're going to talk about Weapon X. I'm going to go right into Weapon X. Now, Weapon X is going to have a lot about him. And we'll see if I get to Chamber. Maybe I won't. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff here with Weapon X. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff to this. Weapon X Earth 616. All right, so aliases are Experiment X, Project X, Weapon 10, Weapon Chi. Identity is secret. Formerly Weapon Plus program affiliation. Formerly CIA, Department H, Department K, and the Children. Enemies formerly Alpha Flight, Wolverine, Weapon Plus program, and the X-Men. Part of the larger Weapon Plus project, Weapon X focuses on using and eliminating mutants. Weapon X's trademark involved the use of mutant test subjects, memory implants, and sometimes endowing healing factor and or delayed aging to its agents. The status of it is defunct. Reality is Earth 616. Base of operations, formerly Weapon X Tactical Command, Washington, D.C., Weapon X Central Command, Serenity Hills in Texas. Creator was Barry Windsor Smith, and the first appearance was Marvel Comics Presents number 72 in January of 1991. So the history. Weapon X was a code name for a secret U.S. government project intended to deliberately induce superpowers for military purposes. It was the 10th installment of the Weapon Plus program. In the case of Weapon X, the mechanism was genetic engineering, specifically creating mutations in normal humans and enhancing pre-existing mutations. The successive projects had Roman numerals, so Weapon X was the 10th such project. Some confusion has arisen because the same name has applied to several different projects, as well as several of the project's graduates. Before Weapon X, Weapon Plus. Weapon X was the 10th installment of the Plus program, a military project started by U.S. government in 1945 after Professor Thornton, a civilian advisor to the U.S. Army, discovered the secret lab of Nathaniel Essex in a Nazi concentration camp. The program was designed to produce super soldiers employable by the military, replicating the success provided by Project Rebirth, retroactively rebranded Weapon 1, which gave birth to Captain America. Following many unsuccessful attempts to create the perfect super soldier, the criminal mastermind known as Romulus used his connections within the CIA to have the agency sponsor the 10th incarnation of the program named Weapon X, whose control was fully given to Professor Thornton. Thornton recruited former FBI scientist Abraham Cornelius and former NASA operative Carol Hines to be part of the program's staff. Under Romulus's orders, that was my stomach growling, by the way, Thornton dispatched Weapon X agents to capture the mutant Logan, a former member of both the CIA's Team X under the codename Wolverine and the Canadian government's Department K, who Romulus chose as the first subject of the adamantium bonding process codenamed Experiment X. After the initial phases of the experiment, Thornton and his collaborators found a way to project Logan's thoughts into a screen, observing the clash between Logan and Sabretooth, which happened after Logan's former love, Silver Fox, was killed by Sabretooth on Logan's birthday. A lot of this was in the Fox films. In order to control Logan's behavior and actions by using the several layers of false memories implanted by the CIA, Thornton and Weapon X staff prepared a warehouse in Ontario where they built elaborated scenarios and cinematographic sets to record additional false memories to be implanted into Logan's mind. Having access to the CIA files, Thornton recruited into Weapon X the other members of Team X, including Victor Creed, a.k.a. Sabretooth, Sergeant David North, known as Maverick and Wildcat, John Wraith, operating as Kestrel, Halcon or Carlisle, Silver Fox, or a duplicate of her produced by either of the CIA or Romulus, and Mastodon, a.k.a. Elefante. These operatives became program subjects receiving implanted memories through the Windsor scenarios, until Thornton contacted the Psi-Talent mutant mastermind, also named Aldo Ferro, who could provide implanted memories through his psychic powers. Avoiding spending resources and money to build elaborate stages, Ferro then joined Weapon X under the codename Vole. Logan escaped the Department K facility where Weapon X scientists were experimenting on him, slaughtering several staff, including Dr. Dale Rice, and nearly killing the head of security, Malcolm Colcord, causing the program to be temporarily put under the coverage of U.S. Department of Agriculture's Pest Control Section, of which Thornton was appointed director. When John Sublime, the former assistant of Dr. Cornelius, who in the meantime had been promoted to Weapon Plus, notified Thornton that his superiors wanted to terminate the 10th incarnation, The professor, in turn, decided to break Weapon X off from the Plus program, being now fully funded by the U.S. Agricultural Department. After Logan escaped, Canadian Department K found a way to replicate his healing factor and implement it into other subjects, giving birth to a new iteration of the Weapon X program. One such subject was Wade Wilson, a man who suffered from cancer, who had enlisted in Department K's search for a cure. Weapon X implemented healing factor in Wilson's body, temporarily regressing his cancer. Department K then formed an early installment of Weapon Prime, squad composed by Wilson, Sluggo, Kane, and Slayback. They were later joined by Wade's girlfriend, Vanessa Carlisle, codenamed Copycat. Under unknown circumstances, Wilson killed Slayback during a mission. His health then got worse and worse, so he was taken to the hospice, a Weapon X facility directed by Dr. Emery's Killebrew and his assistant Francis Fanning, codenamed Ajax. There, Killebrew and Ajax made terrible experiments on Wilson, who was also tortured by Ajax, adopting the name Deadpool. Wade led to a massive breakout from the hospice, and the Canadian branch of Weapon X was shut down. Many years later, Logan, now the X-Man known as Wolverine, started remembering events from his past, eventually leading him to the Weapon X facility in Alberta. At the same time, Silver Fox, now a powerful leader of Hydra, has started secretly following U.S. Agricultural Department activities, searching for the professor in order to kill him for the treatment she received during her time at Weapon X. Meanwhile, former Dr. Cornelius, Assistant Hines, contacted the professor at the Agricultural Department, informing him that Logan had discovered something about his past at Weapon X. After having read NSA files provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Nick Fury, Logan searched for the professor in Washington, D.C.'s Agricultural Department building. After Logan's visit, he decided to reach former Weapon X memory implants set in Windsor, Ontario, since he knew which could have been Logan's next place to visit. He then activated Shiva Protocol, security program composed by several robot units used by Weapon X to capture agents which had escaped their control. Logan destroyed the first Shiva units and reached the control room, where he found Hines and the corpse of the professor, who had been successfully killed by Silver Fox minutes before. Sabretooth was successfully found by a survivor Shiva in a wrestling club in New York City. He was helped by his former team member John Wraith, who also gathered Logan, Mastodon, Silver Fox, and Carol Hines to reform the old X team for one last mission. Found the man who was behind their implanted memories, Aldo Farrow. They arrived in Farrow's private island, Seattle, Washington, where they met their former teammate Maverick, who was employed by Weapon X program to be Farrow's bodyguard. After Farrow revealed that during his time at Weapon X, he had implanted false memories in all of their minds, Maverick rejoined Team X, and together they fought Farrow, killed Hines when she revealed she was an alien called Cyborg. Then he vanished, bringing Silver Fox with him. He then appeared, revealing his true form as the Cyborg, and created an illusory replica of Logan and Silver Fox's cabin in Yukon. Then he mentally controlled Sabretooth into killing Silver Fox for the second time, finally disappearing with Creed. He will be later helped by Sabretooth escaping the United States. There is a lot more. Of course, you're going to get Stryker a little bit later. They're going to talk about the Hulk. Which we'll get to with his card eventually. Weapon X is normally used to denote specific known agents. Weapon X is unique in that it has entire teams. So there you go. That is Weapon X. Now the Weapon X project itself, if you look here, the first appearance was in The Incredible Hulk, actually, number 180 in October of 1974, created by Lee Wein and Herb Trimpe. So that was the codename Weapon X. Was originally mentioned in the first appearance of Wolverine in The Incredible Hulk. So that was where Wolverine appeared in the Hulk in 1974, which has been implied that he was connected to a shady and malevolent government program. And then, of course, in the 1999 one story that I mentioned, project was designated Experiment X. Deadpool, second, third, fourth, fifth, Weapon X31. And then there are a bunch of stories, of course, called Weapon X. And a bunch, of course, of Ultimate Marvel, Wolverine the End, X-Men Noir. And there's a bunch of it in TVs. Of course, films with the Fox X-Men movies. Video games as well. Just whole bunch of stuff on Weapon X. All right, so we're going to go over to the Unlimited app. And we're going to, before I do my books for the week, we're going to look up Weapon X, which I'm sure will be yep, there's the character. An extension of the super soldier creating Weapon Plus program Weapon X experimented on mutants like James Howlett and Victor Creed, altering them mentally and physically into living mutations. And then you look up the comics. There's even some newer stuff. Weapon X Men from 2024 to the present. They're up to issue 3. Weapon X from 2017, 2018. Issue 22, 21, issue 20. The Totally Awesome Hulk. It's in there as well. Weapon X again, 2017, 2018. Brand new number 1. Death of Wolverine, the Weapon X program from 2014. A bunch of issues of that. Weapon X Noir from 2010. I'm telling you, I can't remember how to say that word. Wolverine Weapon X from 2009, 2010. Days of Future Now. Age of Apocalypse. Weapon X all from 2002 to 2004. Weapon X from 1995. Issue 4, Issue 3, Issue 2, Issue 1. There's a What If. And then there's X-Force. Issue number 2 from 1991. So a lot of reading material. And I'm sure you can find those in graphic novel form at your local comic store if you happen to have one. If not, you can head to your bookstore, Barnes & Noble, and you could check stuff out there as well. Because it's always cool to buy the copies of the actual book and have them in your hand when you're reading them. All right, what I am reading. I just finished up Marvel TV Galactus, The Real Story, which is hilarious. It's all about them trying to disprove that Galactus ever actually happened in the Marvel Universe, which is pretty funny. It's a pretty good humor book. I am in the process of reading Imperial issue number 2, which is now up to issue number 3 here. The Death of the Silver Surfer, which has been very good. The Doom stuff is coming to an end. Already has, but of course in the app it's a little bit behind. But new this week, we have Marvel Meow Infinity Comic number 35. We have Marvel Rivals Infinity Comic number 31. We have Bring on the Bad Guys. This series has been really good. Really bringing back some memories for me. One of my favorite graphic novels was Bring on the Bad Guys. I loved it. And this issue is in particularly about Dormammu, issue number 1, which I will be reading. The X-Men Facsimile Edition, number 2025. That is from a book that came out in the 80s, I believe. Maybe in the 90s. Ultimate Spider-Man. Oh, God, it's only 4 issues from ending. Oh, my God, I love this so much. This particular one, Peter, Gwen, Mary Jane, and Harry all kind of get together. And they're talking, like all of it's coming out now. All of it's coming out. Like what characters are who and what's going on with them and stuff like that. Mary Jane shows some balls in this. And kind of takes matters into her own hands. It's getting so good, and it's so sad. There's only 4 issues left. Runaways up to issue number 3. Phoenix, the comic book, up to number 14. Dr. Aphra from Star Wars, up to issue number 3. X-Men 2024 up to issue number 21. Fantastic Four Fanfare up to issue number 4. The Things comic book is up to issue number 4. Emma Frost White Queen comic up to number 3. Predator, Black, White, and Blood. They're doing a lot more of these now. They just did a Venom. That was actually really good. The Predator one is probably going to be excellent too. Imperial War, Planet She-Hulk, issue number 1. X-Men Tooth and Claw, issue number 1. Doom 2099 from 2025, issue number 1, if you like Doom 2025, brand new. The Avengers 2023, issue number 29. Bring on the Bad Guys, Mephisto, issue number 1. Be reading that. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 37. Deadpool and Wolverine 2025, issue number 8. Thor, the Mortal Thor, issue number 1. So brand new book there. Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, issue number 5. Spider-Verse versus Venomverse, issue number 4. The Incredible Hulk, the horror comic that I have been reading since it started, is up to issue number 28, which I've already read. West Coast Avengers up to issue number 10. X-Men Age of Revelation Infinity comic, which are all exclusive to the app, up to issue number 5. And then Jeff the Landshark up to issue number 3. So there you go, peeps. That is the comics on my list. I would urge you to go out and read some comics. All right. MCU Minute Time. And as I said, this is going to be any day now where we are going to get this Doomsday trailer. And all they have shown so far were cast lists. Now, this was shown at a convention. Okay. I don't think any of these are going to come as much of a surprise to you all, but they are showing pictures of the cast. And so kind of like we got the chairs already anyway, but we just didn't see their pictures. But we have, first off, Patrick Stewart, Professor Xavier, and Professor X. Rebecca Romaine. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I want to pronounce it like romaine lettuce. Rebecca Romaine. I don't know. Mystique, of course. Channing Tatum as Gambit. James Marsden as Scott Summers and Cyclops. Alan Cumming as Kurt Wagner and Nightcrawler. Kelsey Grammer as Beast. And Ian McKellen as Eric Lencher and Magneto. So, of course, we knew all of this. We knew we were getting these X-Men. And it will probably be our big farewell to those X-Men characters. Next up, we have the Thunderbolts. Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova, Lewis Pullman as Robert Reynolds and Sentry, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Wyatt Russell as John Walker, and of course David Harbour as Red Guardian. So they will all be in it. Next up, we have the Wakandans. We have Latita Wright as Shuri, Winston Duke as M'Baku, and Tenoch Huerta as Namor are all in it. And then the big list. We've got, of course, on either side of it, the Russo brothers, of course, directing. Robert Downey Jr., of course, playing Dr. Doom. And right down the middle, we have Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby as Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. We have Chris Hemsworth. We have Paul Rudd. We have Sebastian Stan. I've read some of these already, but Florence Pugh, Patrick Stewart, Rebecca Romaine. We have Joseph Quinn, of course, Human Torch. Eben Moss-Baccarat as The Thing. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Anthony Mackie as a Falcon. And then some of those X-Men are there that I mentioned already before. Danny Ramirez we have in there. who plays the new Falcon, I believe. And then we have the actor who, of course, played Shang-Chi is in there. Wyatt Russell, of course. Kurt Russell's son. So that is the cast. And again, no real spoilers or anything like that, or major surprises there, I don't think, for anybody. It's pretty evident. But they were all showed up on screen. It's kind of cool that they're kind of sectioned off into little groups. Because you have the Wakandans, of course, all in their group, but Chris Hemsworth, Paul Rudd, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Mackie, and Danny Ramirez are kind of in one group. They all kind of have different colors to them, too. Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, Louis Pullman, and Hannah John Kamen are all in their little group. Patrick Stewart, Rebecca Romijn, Channing Tatum, James Marsden, Alan Cumming, all in their little group. So I don't know if these groups have any meaning to them. The Fantastic Four are in their own little group. But in any case, that was shown at the convention. Up on the board, people were pretty much hollering and hooting and cheering. And then one other little piece of comic book news here, and this is not even Marvel. Scarlett Johansson. Of course, she was Black Widow, but she's been rumored for a lot of movies lately. She's rumored for the next Exorcist movie, which, by the way, I won't be watching. But she is being rumored. How about this one? If you know Batman, and if you're a Batman fan, you have watched Mask of the Phantasm, one of the best animated films I think I've ever seen. She is being rumored to play Andrea Beaumont. You'll recognize that name if you watch Mask of the Phantasm in the Batman Part 2. So this is the one with Robert Pattinson. Oh my God. Could you imagine if Scarlett Johansson's playing the Phantasm? Oh, dude, I'm in. And especially in that Pattinson setting of Batman. Oh my God. Man, imagine it. They're doing almost like a live action Mask of the Phantasm with Pattinson's Batman. Oh my God, sign me up. That would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'd be first in line to go see that. Let me see if there's any more MCU news. Robert Downey Jr. pokes fun at Gwyneth Paltrow for being forever confused by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Poking fun at how little she understands about the Marvel Universe, Downey, now 60, presented Paltrow, 53, with the Sherry Lansing Leadership Award at the Hollywood Reporter's annual Women in Entertainment Gala on Wednesday, December 3rd. She's reviled, revered, no, I'm wrong, reviled and revered, maybe both. Maybe she's a bit of a dichotomy, impossibly intelligent, but forever confused by the basic tenets of the Marvel Universe and its inhabitants, Downey jested as he opened the speech. Oh, that's cool. That's cool that he was the person who delivered the speech for her. That's pretty cool. Kind of roasted her a little bit. Okay, so now this is saying here, this is from the Direct. It says, Marvel subtly confirmed that Avengers Doomsday will be divided into 6 teams, with Doctor Doom and Loki as headliners. So there you go. So it does look like those colors and the dividers then indeed mean something. There are key absences, like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. I'd imagine they'll all be in Secret War, but obviously Hulk's going to be in Spider-Man, so he might be busy involved with that somehow. And then Captain Marvel, I'm sure, will be in Secret War too. Said the video was shown at Professional Cinema Days in Sorrento, Italy. Unveiled the 6 teams: Fantastic Four, Wakandan Warriors, the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, New Avengers, the X-Men, and Doctor Doom. So they are apparently then teams. So that's cool. Fan favorite Iron Man star teases their long-awaited return, MCU return. Oh, that's Gwyneth as well. That means she's coming back. The actress is asked about a possibility during a recent red carpet interview. Her comments didn't give much away. She responded with a "we'll see." However, her facial expression seems like a dead giveaway. It seems pretty obvious she'll return as Pepper, and it's not outside the realm of possibility. Both she and Tony Stark's daughter, Morgan, will suit up to battle Doctor Doom. Whether his resemblance to Iron Man will factor into their respective stories or... Ooh. That might be pretty cool, though, to see that. That'd be pretty cool. All right. Well, there you go. That is pretty much it. But like I said, keep your eye out for the trailer, because I do believe with all of the stuff that's going on at this convention over the weekend, they're going to get shown something. And if that's the case, like I said, Marvel's probably going to want to get ahead of it, because they don't want the spoilers to be taking over and everybody to be bootlegging the trailer anyway when it's going to look like crap. So I don't think they want that to happen. They'd rather probably have it come out rather than that. So just be on the lookout, because we might be getting that sooner than later. So, all right. Well, guys, that is the MCU Minute. And last but not least here, we are going to get into this week's lyric. And I have not, regardless of what it looks like, given up on my YouTube page. I say it every single week, and I swear to God it's going to happen. When some of my stuff dies down a little bit. I mean, obviously the holidays went past, so hopefully I'll be able to do it soon. Burb and I are always talking. Him and I are always talking on X, and Kier's been busy doing some stuff too. But I will get them on. I promise. I will have them on soon, because I want to get back to doing that. It's just that it's getting crazier and crazier now with working in retail. It's around the holidays and things like that. So it's, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to get them on before Christmas time. But just keep your eyes out for that. All right. We're going to do the lyric. And this one, all I will tell you is it is not a specific song written about, I'll say this. It's not from any MCU movie, but it indeed is a reference to well, let's just say that there's a name. There's a name in here, which I'm not even going to read the name. Well, should I? Yeah, okay, I'll read the name, because I guess I don't think it's gonna give it away. All right, ready? Here's the verse. The intro goes like this. I spy with my little eyes something beginning with S. Then it goes on. Candy striped legs, the Spider-Man comes softly through the shadow of the evening sun, stealing past the windows of the blissfully dead, looking for the victim, shivering in bed, searching out fear in the gathering gloom, and suddenly a movement in the corner of the room. And there is nothing I can do when I realize with fright that the Spider-Man is having me for dinner tonight. Very, very cool. I actually love this song, and the band is awesome as well. But yeah, this is a cool, and I like it for more than one reason. The fact that they mentioned, talking about the Spider-Man, but it's kind of cool. It's metaphors and all this kind of stuff. And I've really grown to like this band a lot through the years. So, but anyway, there's your lyric challenge for the week. If you do get it, you will win a no prize. And Voltron Pilot is very, very good at this. So you have to kind of beat him out to it. But in any case, guys, I am part of the family of podcasts of the Snap Judgments League of Podcasts. And that includes such podcasts as, of course, Snap on This. I listen to them every single week. In fact, I'm just finishing up their last episode from last Friday. Great pod with some great people. Benjamin Roller is awesome. I remember meeting him playing in a tournament in the Snap Judgments League for the very first time. And to this day, he is still playing Silver Surfer, which he played me in that tournament. Hey, he's dedicated, man. And to this day, listen, Ben's a pretty good singer. Ben's a pretty good singer. He's been doing some singing on the pod. You know what? I have to have Ben on again. Maybe Ben and I could do a duet. I fancy myself pretty good. I think I'm a pretty good singer. Like I said, I made that AC/DC song work. I was able to adjust my voice. So I don't know. I sang in a choir when I was a kid. I think I'm pretty good. And then of course it's just Ree. Ree's great. You know what I love Ree on that show for? Ree goes on rants, and I love Ree's. Ree should have a part in that show. Should be called Ree's Rants. She just goes on. Of course, all her knowledge about comics and stuff like that too. Of course, Ree's fantastic, and then of course Lauren Whatevs, who was just on. She was just on the Cozy and Alex the Snap show that they now of course it's getting late. The name escapes me now, but of course it was the most popular Snap pod that's out there and probably still is. But Lauren was guesting on there with Alex Kocha, so that's amazing. The Snapchat. How could I forget about it? I told you it's late. It's like 3:00. But yeah, and Lauren was great on there as they always are. Lauren's always great on no matter what show. She's been on my show many times. So go check that out. Also, Lauren is the one who always does the math for everybody and everything, and figures out all the whether it's worth it for you to get cards, or whether it's worth it for how the game modes go and stuff like that. So yeah, so Lauren's amazing. And then, of course, the pod with Glazer and Roy, and they always have their guests on there, and I got to get back on there again soon because I love being on with Glazer and chatting with Glazer. But he does stuff on usually Friday and Saturdays. He's doing videos every darn day for you guys, so please go and check him out and give his videos a watch and help him. Look, the bottom line is content creators, especially the ones that are doing a lot of the videos. Now, me, I'm just doing my audio pod for the most part. Maybe that'll change at some point someday, but I don't stream the game. The guys who actually go and they're streaming the games, they could use some help. And this is all the good ones that I've met on the show. Gaming with Flash, Gregor, Fawthorne, Newman, just so many of them that I met. Prashan, like I said, Super Tech God, all those people that stream the game. Regis even streamed for a little bit. Dexter and all them, they can use your help because the game is kind of struggling a little bit in that aspect of it. Streamers aren't seeing as many people as they were in the past, so give them some love. Go check them out. I know that they're not doing Twitch drops anymore, which kind of sucks. I wish they'd go back to that because that helps those guys out. But please check out Glazer. He does a lot of work in putting those decks out for you guys and giving the ideas and things like that. He has a lot of giveaways and stuff, so go check out Glazer's channel. I've always said from day one, Glazer didn't have to do what he did for me, and I'm always going to be. He's always going to hold a special place in my heart for it. He was the one who came on my show at the very beginning. He always tells people that my show is one of his favorite pods that he listens to, and I love him for it. Because he didn't have to do that. And I'll forever appreciate him for doing so. So go check that out as well. And of course, I'll always mention Kier. I know he hasn't been doing his pod and stuff lately. He hasn't been playing a lot of Snap lately and stuff like that, but it's still out there. The Infinaut podcast was really one of the good ones. Nice and short, quick and easy listen, and a lot of information in there as well. So, alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for me for this first week of the brand new Weapon X season. I hope you're enjoying it. Don't blow too much stuff up because, yours truly doesn't like Destroy, but whatever. Play whatever it is that makes you happy. That's what the game's all about. And however you enjoy Snap, enjoy it. And stay warm. It is freezing here. We are just in a nasty cold snap. We just got like 7-8 inches of snow, so we've got snow on the ground out there. My dog is frantically playing around in it. And I was out in I bought a winter hat that comes down as a mask over your face. And of course, it's got Jason's hockey mask on the front. I mean, it's me. Of course, I did that. And I took a picture of myself being out in the snow. So that, look, it's a pain in the butt. It's hard to drive in. But it is, it's a part of everything that we do and the change of seasons and stuff like that. But all right, guys, that is going to do it for me. And like I said, you guys take care. Please stay safe. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully I will talk to you all on the next episode of Snap Decisions. This is your late night Snap DJ signing off.